Needfull allows you to manage projects, media, client feedback, team communication, all under one place. So you don't have to switch between Slack or WhatsApp, email, etc. If you look at the branding project that I have here, this dashboard gives you a very quick overview as to the state of the project itself. You can see here that I have 14 total tasks, 12 of which have been completed, and there are 2 pending. I can also get a quick overview of what the task status distribution is. So here you'll see 12 or 86% of my tasks are done. One of them is pending and one of them is still yet to do. Here I can get a quick view of what each person is doing. So if I want to um, filter by Rahul Singh, I can just very easily do that and we can see that his task is done. Scrolling down further, we get a high level overview of the team split in terms of billable and non billable hours. So you can see here that the non billable hours is actually 2 hours, whereas the billable hours is only 1 hour. This gives you a good overview as to where your team is spending their time, whether it's helping revenue or it's not. So you can dig further and optimize your revenue itself and time spent. Finally, you get a very high level overview of what the recent activity has been for your team. So you can very quickly audit what's happening. Going back up into the project info, you can see here that we have start date, the end date, the nature of engagement. Needful supports 3 types of engagement: hourly, fixed, and retainer. You can see the team members that are part of this project, and you can see if there's any invoicing frequency, advance payment received. Here you'll see a brief of what the project is about and what the client expects. So essentially, the scope of the project itself. Needful provides 2 views for viewing your tasks and how they're split amongst your team members, and you can group these the way you want. If I close this really quick, you can see here that I can group these by assignee, and we'll see here there are 6 unassigned, and the rest of the team is actually doing pretty well on all of the tasks that they have. You can see the assignee, the task name, the due date, status, etc. Switching over to the board or the Kanban board, this allows you to view all of your tasks by status in a more visually pleasing manner. So you can see here that I have one in to do and one in pending, but a majority of these are done. So let's say I clicked into this branding doc because it's a branding project. I'm presented with this modal that shows me more details as to the task itself. Its owner, the assignee, the due date, the current status it is in, the priority, medium, low, high, etc., and any tags that I want to associate with this. I'm going to mark this as billable and then save that. Digging deeper into this task allows me to collaborate more with my teammates. So, getting into the detailed view of this task itself, you can see here that I have a whole bunch of comments that's happening here. So, you're free to leave comments, attach media, etc. So, you have a more collaborative experience when working on each task. Heading back to the project, we can see here files, and this is one of the most powerful aspects of Needful itself. Its ability to bring in not only your team and your work, but also media assets associated with the project. So you don't ever have to wonder where that version of a file went, where that file is stored. It's always available to you at the tap of a button. So if I was to look at the Needful logo here, you can see here that we have comments. So we have the same collaborative experience on media files, and we have a version history. So if you look into comments, it's what you'd expect. You can leave comments for people. You can see this person left a comment saying the logo needs to be a little darker. You can go ahead and have a conversation here. Furthermore, you can look at the version history and track as many versions as you'd like. So maybe you got feedback from your client, maybe your creative editor or your designer came back to you and they incorporated some feedback, asking for some feedback. You can then work on that. Select a file, you can say, I want to upload a new version. You can title it, give it a brief message of what this incorporates, and then go ahead and upload it. Once that's done, you get a quick view of the version, and you're able to compare those versions. Finally, for project team activity, you can actually dig deeper as to who's doing what. So this gives you a nice audit log of what happened when, and you're able to dig further when needed. Heading back to my list of my projects, because when you manage a lot of clients and a lot of projects, it becomes tedious for you to set up projects from scratch every single time. That's why Needful allows you to create a project from a template. So if I switch on over here to my templates, You'll see that we have a list of pre-made templates that can kickstart your project, or you can create a custom one by clicking this button here. So you can give it the category, you can give it the name, you can set up all of the statuses and some sample tasks. So sample tasks may be client onboarding, sharing of documents, setting up meetings, etc. So once you have a template set up, you can actually go ahead and say, let's say we're creating a marketing campaign. I want to say this is the marketing campaign for Brightside Digital. The client will be Brightside Digital. I can go ahead and just create the project. And within a few seconds, you see that a whole new project is brought up with all of the statuses and some sample tasks already set. All you have to do now is invite your team members, which you can do by managing members, entering their email address, setting them a role of member, and then going ahead and inviting them. Once they accept, they are then able to collaborate with you on this project. A lot of teams like to track time, and so Needfull gives you a time tracker inbuilt, so you don't have to go to any other tool. In the time tracker, it does what you expect it to. So you can come in here, you have a bunch of things that you can set. So let's say I want to start tracking time for the marketing campaign that I just set up. And I'm going to set up, or rather, I'm going to work on creating the branding doc. And all I have to do is press start, and I go ahead and I do my work. And once I'm back, all I have to do is come in here and then say, yeah, I'm done, that looked good, and then my time entry is saved. That's then stored within the project itself. You can go ahead and invoice it, you can look at the task, you can leave comments, whatever you may please. Outside of project related tasks, Needfull allows you to track your own personal tasks. Oftentimes you need to do work that is not necessarily associated with a project, but it's still work that needs to be done as part of your day to day. So if you look at this task that's there for me today, it's set up a follow up meeting with my client. And here, much like the task detailed screen, you're able to add very rich comments. So here, I've created a to-do list to follow up on LinkedIn, and maybe I want to take notes for this task after the call. So I can come in here and enter those notes. There's another section that allows you to get a bigger picture of what your tasks look like. So if you come into the upcoming tab, you will see here that I can look at what my day looks like, what yesterday looked like, by going and switching, or I can even go ahead and zoom out a little bit and say, let me look at what my month looks like. And so here you can imagine that you have all of your tasks set up for the entire month, and you can scrub through the next month or the previous month, giving you a very good view of what you have done and what you are going to do. Finally, the dashboard gives you a very high level overview of both finance and operations. Needfull is a workspace that merges finance and operations. And so you'll see here the finance dashboard gives you what your outstanding invoices are, what your pending invoices are, etc. But also gives you a quick overview of your operations. So if I switch over to the ops dashboard, you'll see here that I get a view of my own operations status. So you can see here that I have 16 overdue tasks. I should probably go and get them done. But you'll also get here tasks that you own. So if there are tasks that you've assigned to others but you own them, you can get a very quick view of what needs to be done and then follow up with your teammate to get its status. So that's been a very quick overview of Needfull is and what it offers for you and your agency. If you'd like to check it out, head on over to needfull.co and sign up for a free account.